Autocar profession is at the SIAM's 65th annual convention, and we have Mr. Nitin Jirafe, who is VP Engine Business at Cummins India and also MD at Tata Cummins. Thank you for joining us, sir. Cummins is very much known for investing in various alternative fuels, hydrogen. How is the company going ahead with this? What is the new trends? What are the new trends going on?
Yeah, so as you rightly said, Cummins has been investing in new technologies, especially for multi-fuel. And last year, if you remember, in Auto Expo, we launched HELM series, which stands for high efficiency, lower emission, and multiple fuel. And what does it mean is you can take the same engine, change the architecture a little bit, you change few components, and then you can convert that into either LNG or hydrogen. And this engine will deliver the same performance in terms of torque and power. So yeah, I mean, Cummins has been investing quite a lot, and some of the examples that I can give you is let's say our 6.7 engine, which is available in diesel as well as LNG, and now also in hydrogen. So that's an example of how Cummins is looking at this multi-fuel as an opportunity and investing ahead of time.
Right. Especially when it comes to hydrogen, the infrastructure is actually nowhere. We are already struggling with the electric charging system. So how do you see the hydrogen systems going ahead in India?
No, I'm very optimistic about it because I think if we really look at the statistics, we import almost 80%, 85% of our oil, fossil fuel from outside, and also 45% of gas, right? So that's a lot of dependency on the other nations. So if we have to be independent in terms of our energy, I think hydrogen is the best bet.
Right.
And I'm so happy that the government is very serious about it. However, I think the technology is in nascent stage right now. It's being proven on the road as we speak.
Yeah.
We have few vehicles running on the road to really prove this technology in a real life duty cycle. But I think with all the initiatives being taken by the government, I see there's a bright future for hydrogen going ahead.
Right. And where do you place India when it comes to sustainability and achieving the large net zero goal? Which technology do you think will be the most appropriate in order to drive this growth?
Yeah, so as you know that our Prime Minister has already committed for 2070 for net zero, and I think at Cummins also, we are very committed to net zero, and that's where all the investments are going on the Cummins side. Now, if you talk about the fuel and technology, I see LNG as a low-hanging fruit, wherein I mean already. A lot of fuel stations are being built. The technology is proven. We have several vehicles, being already adopted by the fleet owners. So that's running really successfully. There's a delta between the diesel and the LNG cost.
Okay.
Also, the fuel economy of this LNG engines is pretty good. So TCO wise, it makes a lot of sense, right? So that's the first technology I think which will make a big impact as far as the emissions are concerned. I think the secondly, I think is definitely the migration towards battery. However, I don't see batteries going in a big way in all the duty cycles because of the charging infrastructure and
Right. And larger size of the battery.
So it has a penalty on the payload, right?
Right.
But for closed loop duty cycles in a shorter span of distance, I think it would still make a big sense.
Right.
And then definitely, I think in another few years, I'm really betting on hydrogen.
Okay. And as a major auto component manufacturer, as I should say, what are the primary demands from OEMs? If you can elaborate on that.
No, I think OEMs are definitely looking at all the technologies, and if you really ask me, they're working on all three technologies. Okay, they're working on LNG, they're working on hydrogen, they're also working on battery electric. It's just a matter of which technology is apt for which application. That needs to be seen.
Yes. Uh, which which is the that innovation going on in the auto sector, which you are betting on, as in this could be the future and this is the most trending one. If you can tell our audience that.
Yeah, so I already spoke about the Helm platform. I mean that
Okay.
itself is a big innovation
Yeah.
because to develop a new engine platform, it is very, let's say, investment intensive, right?
Right.
Not only in terms of R&D but also in terms of manufacturing investment. But with this Helm platform, I think we have been able to ensure that we are just doing some incremental investment both in terms of R&D as well as capex, and are able to produce these technologies. So I think that's a very good innovation from my standpoint. At the vehicle level, I think the software connected vehicles, okay, or software driven vehicle is another disruptive technology that I see coming in, wherein a lot of safety features are being added, ADAS and other features. So I think we are making quite a good progress if you compare to some of the developed nation. So India is definitely walking the same path as some of the global players are.
Like, how are you projecting India's, if not projecting, how do you see India's growth in the global space when it comes to exports?
No, I think uh, I see some disruption knowing what's happening on the tariff, but I mean, long term, I think we're still poised really well, because if you really look at the cost arbitrage, I think India still has a very competitive edge compared to some of the other developing nations as well as
Right.
developed nations. So, long term, I see a very good story developing as far as the export is concerned. Cummins is also
Right.
investing significantly for export in India.
Right. And we have been hearing now, then and now, we have been hearing about localization, make in India,
Yeah.
Swadeshi. How is Cummins India placed in that, in local manufacturing and actually exporting Indian manufactured goods outside with 100% localization, maybe?
No, I think quite a bit. If you really look at, most of our platforms are manufactured locally, and Cummins has been in India for more than 60 years now. Okay, so with that, uh, both in industrial sector as well as in automotive sectors, our engines are highly localized,
Right.
and also for exports, there are some dedicated investments being made to
Right.
ensure that we continue to grow our export business.
Right. What is Cummins India's long-term projection for India's growth and the partnership between Cummins and Tata?
No, I mean, that partnership has lasted last 3 decades, and I mean, it's going really strong. As you know, we are also signed an agreement to
Right.
invest in some of the new technologies like hydrogen engine or battery. The plant is already ready and up and running, so we are pretty bullish about some of the investments that the joint venture is doing.
Right.
Also on the Cummins side, we are continuing to invest in new technologies, both for industrial as well as automotive sector.
Right. So we can say that, as what I can grab from our conversation, is that placing an LNG would be a preferred alternative fuel for Indian vehicles.
Yeah, easy to adopt, I would say.
Yeah, and localization. Cummins is also doing its best at localization
Yeah.
in India. So, just as one last question, where do you see India's vehicular growth as you compare it with global partners, in terms of sustainability, in terms of driving the automobile growth, even comparing it with the neighboring countries? In the next 5 years or 10 years, where do you see India shine the most?
No, I think India, and as you see the GDP, I think we are the fastest growing economy, and there's a lot of headroom to grow
Yeah.
for India, right? In terms of, let's say, number of automobiles that we manufacture, but we are already, let's say, the third largest. Okay, and I see that with the growing economy and the GDP and the overall demand, domestic demand, I see a very good growth story going forward as well.
Right. If you can divide, India in the sense North Zone, South Zone, West and East, which are the areas you see, there's some white space and should be covered in terms of vehicle.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't look at it that way, because as far as the commercial vehicles are concerned, they ply everywhere, right? They ply from, let's say, Kanyakumari to Kashmir and some of the most difficult areas. And if you really look at the manufacturing footprint also, I think we have a pretty good manufacturing footprint from all the OEMs that we have. So overall, I think I wouldn't look at it from the geographical sector-wise how the distribution is, but I really look at it from the infrastructure developments. As you see the new highways are coming up, you will see more and more growth happening in commercial vehicles as well.
Right. Yeah, that's it from my side. Thank you for talking to Autocar Professional, and we'll be in touch.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.